Hello guys and girls, how's it going? Screezilla here and I hope you're all well, and you join me today in a rather high tiered, what's it guys, at least 6.7, I think 6.7, working from other things, relatively a high tier matchup, you know, relatively high tier, and we are in the ASU-57, yes, we are in the tiny little bush tank. Now, the ASU-57 emerged, around about 1946, specifically for sort of airborne operations. It is a fantastic little thing, um, armed with a 76mm gun. It just, oh, this thing is just glorious. It's ridiculous. It's tiny. It's a cute little tank. It is just a very cute little tank. Oh, sorry, 57mm gun. Not 76. That would be mad. The 57mm gun. Just absolutely mad little thing, and it is just amazing. It's just such a crazy little vehicle. Designed to be dropped from by parachutes. Designed for basically getting behind the enemy lines and causing havoc. It's just such an interesting little tank, but also it's such a fun tank as well, especially in game. The ASU-57 is just so small. That's the advantage of it. But the 57mm gun on it has a really decent velocity and also a very decent penetration. That's the biggest thing about this tank. It's got very good penetration power. Unfortunately, it has no weight and no horsepower, so sometimes when you're trying to get places, it can be quite hard. Now, we're in Italy at the moment, and as you can see here, I've used more shots trying to get through places than I have hitting tanks at the moment. Because you just literally can't break down anything in this tank. You have to shoot the way through everything, and that's one of the flaws of this vehicle. It is a bit hard to get places sometimes, just because, well, if there's anything blocking your path, you're kind of screwed. Now, I'm playing a little bit defensively here, and a little bit sort of basically trying to get surprise attacks, and that's what you want to do with the 57, is you want to basically get surprise attacks on people. You can't go head on. You'll be taken out by light machine gun fire pretty instantly. But if you can sneak around and get behind people or get to the flank, you can cause havoc. And because you're so small, you're so hard to spot as well. And that's one of the biggest key features of this tank, is it's just so hard to bloody spot. It's great for that sort of area. Now, the development of the ASU-57, let's say it sort of started. Specification started around about 46. The project was sort of scrapped for a bit, and then it was relaunched in about 1950, and that's where it sort of became the tank that we know. It was sort of there was a lot of different options available for things, and they were trying to work out which way to go and things like that. But in 1950, they got the ASU-57, and the little tiny chassis and the gun, and got it all worked out, and got the tank hunting role. And basically, this thing was designed for tank hunting, and sort of it's basically tank hunting and light artillery. The tankette is really there to give fire support for paratroopers, which is hard for paratroopers because a lot of the time they don't have field guns or field artillery. So with this, they have field artillery at hand. So things like the high explosive round, although it's only a 57mm shot, it's still a relatively decent high explosive round, and it's going to cause damage to an area, and it's gonna basically be able to support artillery barrage. Now, it doesn't have a huge amount of ammunition, of course, but you can always get more ammunition in. It's designed as a strike vehicle. It's not there to sit there constantly and, hammer away at things. It's designed to basically move, get in places, cause damage, and then pretty much get out of the action. And that's sort of what we're doing here. I'm trying to get around these areas and just keeping the bushes and things like that in front of me, just so I'm sort of relatively hidden. And unfortunately we have to keep taking down fence posts to get through, but we're keeping an eye out because there could be tanks sort of to the left and right of us. Now most of our team has actually managed to get the right hand side sort of covered, but they have got one problem. There is a Ferdinand up there, and that's causing a lot of issues to our team at the moment. So we're going to hopefully be able to deal with that. Now, one of the biggest tank destroyers in game against one of the smallest tank destroyers in game, it doesn't really seem like a fair fight, does it? But the ASU-57 is there to punch above its weight. This thing, just to put it in perspective, this thing was in the era of the, T-64. This thing was being used in those eras. And it was used sort of into the 70s and sort of 80s as well. One of the main people to use it were the Vietnamese. It was a very good vehicle for sort of jungle environments and, basically areas that were sort of hard for other tanks to get around because, well, this thing's so small it can actually get around places. Now, something there, and there we go. We've got a Ferdinand. So, let's just pause this here for one moment. I'll just destroy this wall. And let's go to the free camera. So, we have the ASU-57. 3 crew members, a 57mm gun, against the Ferdinand. Just let the smoke clear a little bit. The Ferdinand. Now, look at the size difference of this thing. You've got, what, I think it's 5 crew members in the back, 2 in the front, with the... I think it's the 88 on the Ferdinand, isn't it? It's the long 88. Basically, this thing is ridiculous. Frontal armor, pretty much nothing's going to penetrate it. And it's just sitting there taking on a front-on assault of basically the majority of our team. And it's getting hit from a lot of sides, and it is getting a bit of a pounding. Let's just quickly jump over to it. And as you can see here, everybody's fine. It's just taking a massive pounding to the front. This is a bit of a weak spot to it, but the armor is ridiculous. So, does an ASU-57 pose a threat to this vehicle? Well, yes, it does, because even though this thing has got ridiculous armor all the way around, the side armor is a little bit thinner. I think it's around about 80mm, 100mm, something around there. It's still very thick, but it is not impossible. So, tiny little tank versus giant tank. Let's begin. Round 1. So, we line up, we start getting our shot, we take the shot. Top plate, not penetration. Aim a bit lower. Lower plate, we go straight through, take out 2 loaders. Second shot goes in, takes out the rest of the crew. Fantastic. The ASU-57 has just taken out the Ferdinand. And that's one of the things I love about the ASU-57, is just the sheer stupidity that you can take out a Ferdinand with something that is so tiny. Has around about 6mm of armor against something that has, over 150mm of frontal armor, just ludicrous amounts of armor, a 3.4 ton tank taking on a what's the third, and I think it's about 20 odd ton Goliath. This thing is just, it's so much fun punching above its weight, and you can actually take it into top BR. This thing is actually competitive against things like the Abrams, against modern battle tanks, simply because from the side you have got that punch, and you've got a relatively decent shell as well. So we're going to go around and we're going to actually start looking at camping B rather than spawn camping, because I'm not a real big fan of spawn camping. Now, one of the other important things for the ASU-57 is its canvas roof. This offers great protection from things like rain and, hail, as long as it's not very big hail. But it does offer some form of protection. And of course, like all great Soviet tanks, it has its log. Yes, the log. The fantastic log. And you can see it's a relatively small log on the ASU-57, because you don't need a giant log on it. All you need is a log that's the same width as the tank, because of course the log is just used to get you out of mud when you're stuck. You tie the log onto your tracks, and then it will help just give you a bit of extra traction so you can get through there. Now we're going to hide in this bush area, because we are bush tank. And it's a good little spot to hide for the ASU-57, because really we're not very visible here. We've got a nice big statue covering our side, and we've got lots of bushes as well, so we're a bit hidden. Now there's something around here, and with the kill feed I sort of was suspecting it was a tiger. So ASU-57 versus tiger. Now this can be a hard fight, because if the tiger angles, it's got a ludicrous amount of armor, of course. Tigers are very strong vehicles, and there we go, a Tiger H1 has just popped out. We can see it, it's just visible. So what we do is we move forwards and we scout it. So he's been scouted, so that means he's going to pop up on the map. Now we're going to get in, try and take a shot. We take a shot, but it ricochets. He's just got enough angle on us, just can't really take him out there. Now I'm not sure if his turret ring is actually stuck, because it does look a little bit like the turret ring might have been stuck. So anyway, now we've got a tiger coming around, and this could be dangerous for us. We've got an IS-2, I think, somewhere, or IS-1, so that's good, so that could be useful. And that's really what's taken his attention, is he's actually looking at the IS. Now if we just pause here again, we'll just switch to the free camera, and as you can see here, there is a IS-2 down there, which has got the tiger's attention, front on. So this tiger is busy trying to get the IS-2. He can't really see over here, because over here, well, if we can actually not be in a house, there's very hard to see bush with a nasty little bite to it. Yes, the little tiny bush has a little bit of a bite to it. So we'll just hop back to the bush, and we'll go back to our camera. So we take aim at the turret. Side of a turret, we go straight through, take out his cannon breech, his loader and commander. Second shot, we go straight through the side armor, and that is one tiger dead. Yes, the ASU-57 has slain 2 giant tanks today. And now we're just going to wait and cap out B. And that's the end of that game. Now, as I say, not the most exciting game, unfortunately. It's always fun when you get much more kills, but just the slaughtering of such giant tanks is so much fun in this vehicle. Alright guys, I'm just going to hop to the post-battle results now. Okay, and welcome back to the post-battle results. So yeah, obviously not the biggest game in the world, but it was just fun, really. The ASU-57 is just such a fun little vehicle, and especially when you take out large tanks. When you take out heavies with this thing, it is just fantastic. So we got according to intelligence, killing a vehicle under intelligence. Rank does not matter, of course, and the balancer. So destroy the most vehicles of 1 BR rank higher. So yeah, we are the balancer. Obviously we didn't do too well on the team stats. We sort of flanking around a bit, we actually missed quite a lot of the enemy, which was unfortunate, but still, What a fun battle. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Also, I get the APCR shot for it now. Hooray! Get to research something else as well. Might as well research the improved optics. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will be back soon with some more content. That's the word. Have a lovely day. Bye bye. Does this guy's coming in for a head on? Don't want any of that. Oh! Oh, that was beautiful! Holy crap, that was hilarious.